Hello everyone, very good morning and welcome back to Crack Grade B. So today we are going to start with other schemes that are there in Ministry of Education, right? We had already done till apprenticeship scheme. So we are going to move ahead with the PM Shri, that is PM Schools for Rising India. So what we are trying to do over here is, please, okay. So what we are trying to do with PM Shri school is that these particular schools, certain schools will be identified through an open process. That means the schools have to apply by themselves, and these schools will be followed up as a model school for the implementation of national education policy. There will be certain parameters like green schools. Good morning, good morning. So there are various parameters. On the basis of those parameters, it will be tried and the implementation will be done. All those objectives that we have envisaged under NEP, we are going to follow up with these particular schools. So the only thing which I would like to tell you is you should consider them as a model school for implementation purposes. So let's quickly move to it. So Cabinet has approved a new centrally sponsored mission scheme called as the PM Schools for Rising India, right? What we are going to do with these particular schools? So they will act as an exemplar school. Exemplar school means model schools where all the facilities related to NEP has been implemented, right? So components of national education policy and offering mentorship to other schools in their vicinity. What is the outlay? 27,000 crores is the outlay, and the period of implementation is till the year 2026 and 27. Who are going to be the beneficiaries? So more than 18 lakh students are expected to be directly benefit from this particular school. Now we are going to see on what parameters we are going to develop this school, right? That means what are the criteria of exemplary performance that we want that this kind of school must be having. So see over here. First of all, it should provide high quality education as per the vision of National Education Policy 2020, right? Moving ahead, the first component is the green school. Green school, developed as a green school where we'll be incorporating environment friendly aspects like solar panel, LED lights, nutrition gardens with natural farming, waste management, plastic free, as well as recycling of the waste related component. Next is pedagogy. Pedagogy means the style of teaching. So style of teaching should be experiential, holistic, integrated, play, toy based or discovery oriented. That means rote learning is not being promoted. That this concept has already been what you can say discarded under NEP 2020. NEP 2020 asks for experiences based learning, so that the child who is learning the concept is able to understand that, right? Next is focus. Focus will be on conceptual understanding and how the knowledge can be applied to real life situations. So our focus will be remaining on that. Assessment, whatever you have taught, you have to assess that as well, whether whatever you have taught is bringing any kind of result or not. So that is will be taken under the assessment. Linkages, it will be linked with the sector skills council as well as the local industry in order to improve the employability and providing the better employment opportunities. We have seen that under your national education policy, a component of vocational education has been included. So we are going to teach the students in the vocation related things or any kinds of skill based learning, and for that affiliation with sector skills council has also been envisaged. Next is a school quality assessment framework is being developed specifying the key performance indicators to measure the outcomes. So basically that's what I have told you. Under PM Shri, you want to develop certain model schools who are implementing all the provisions related to your national education policy, and once they become so inspirational, other schools which are in the area, they are going to follow the footsteps of those model schools. So this is called lead by example. You want to create certain examples who can be followed up by the other schools. Talking about the interventions, quality and innovation, beneficiary oriented entitlements. I'm going to just quickly skim through this because not very important things are listed over here. 100% schools will receive science and maths kits. Annual school grants will be given. Library related, sports related, etc. Early childhood care and education is in the focus. Equity and inclusion, flexibility in the choice of subjects, again all the same topics that we have already studied in the national education policy, and 100% of PM Shri schools will be covered under the ICT smart classrooms as well as the digital initiatives. Now what is the implementation strategy? They would be implemented through the existing administrative structure available for the Samagra Shiksha, KVS and NVS. KVS is Kendriya Vidyalaya, Navodaya Vidyalaya, right? So whatever existing structure that is there for the administration of education, the same structure will be applicable for this PM Shri schools as well. The other autonomous body will also be involved. Scheme envisage convergence with the existing scheme at the Panchayati Raj, urban local bodies, etc. If there is any kind of scheme which is operating at these level for the betterment of schools, all these schemes will be combined together. That's it. This is the only meaning of this particular term. Now next is selection methodology. How the schools will be selected. So first of all, the schools whosoever wants to participate under this particular scheme, they have to self-apply on the portal, right? They will be done through challenge mode. Okay, challenge mode means competition mode. We will see that what are the schools that are having the capabilities, who are the schools which are in the need, and plus the interest component of those particular schools. All those things will be taken into account by for giving the status of PM Shri school. This portal will be opened 4 times a year, once every quarter for first 2 years of the scheme. Eligibility of the schools. So which schools are eligible? Elementary schools and the secondary, senior secondary schools which are managed by center, state, UT governments having the UDICE plus code would be considered for selection under this particular scheme. Selection would be done through 3 stage process. What are these 3 stage process? Again the same thing has been repeated, that okay, you have to apply and the challenge mode will be accepted. That's it. So not going to read on that. No number of schools. So maximum number of schools are 2 per block or per urban local bodies. So in a local body, how many schools can be considered for PM Shri? 2, maximum 2. Next is Pradhan Mantri Uchchatar Shiksha Protsahan Yojana. So what you are doing over here is you are distributing the financial incentives, or you are distributing the amounts so that all those students who are learning or who are studying in higher education, that means who are doing their graduations as well as the masters, they continue to do so. This is the only incentive or only aim of this particular scheme. Let's go through it. So Department of Higher Education by Ministry of Education is the nodal department for this, right? What is the objective? So objective of ours is to provide the financial assistance to whom? To meritorious students from the poor families, so that they should not be leaving their higher studies. Higher study means over here, higher study is meaning that you are not leaving your graduation. Scholarship is going to be awarded by Ministry of Education. A maximum of 82,000 scholarships are provided for pursuing the postgraduate as well as graduate degrees, along with the professional courses like your medical as well as engineering. Now how allocation of scholarships will be done? See over here. So total number of scholarships, it will be divided among the state education boards. That means you are going to divide the total number of scholarship among these states. On the basis of what? On the basis of what is the population in the age group of 18 to 25 years. After segregating share of CBSE and ICSE on the basis of number of students which have been passed from various boards. Obviously, you are giving the scholarship for whom? You are giving scholarship for the students. So you are going to divide the funds for these scholarship among different states as well as the CBSE and ICSE boards pass out students on the basis of number of students that have been passed or number of students who are in the age group of 18 to 25 years. That means these are the students who are in the age of college going. 50% of the scholarship for the girls, it has been earmarked, right? Out of total scholarship slots that are earmarked for UTs of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, 3% should be there for the UT of Ladakh especially. Next is, you are going to divide the scholarship among streams, humanities, science and commerce. It will be divided in the ratio of 3:1. Students belonging to reserve categories, minorities, they are also eligible to get the reservation benefit on the basis of merit. Central reservation policy that is being applicable will be applicable here as well, right? What is the policy? 15% will be reserved for SC, 7.5% will be reserved for STs and 27% for OBCs. 5% horizontal reservation for the persons with disabilities in all the categories. That means total number of scholarships taken together. Out of that, 5% we are going to be reserving for the persons with disabilities. That is called as the horizontal reservation. Talking about the students who are eligible for this particular scholarship. First of all, students who are above 80th percentile of successful candidates, right, in the examination of class 12th. So we are going to provide the scholarship to meritorious students, hence this is the criteria for that. Pursuing regular courses. You should not be doing the correspondence or the distance mode. Students with gross parental family income up to 4.5 lakh per annum, you are eligible. That means you are not having enough means in order to complete your graduation. Your family income is already too less. Next is renewable in each year of study besides getting at least 50% marks in the annual examination. Maintenance of adequate assistance of at least 75% will also be the criteria. See, here the financial assistance that is going to be provided depends on year to year basis. You will be getting a scholarship for first year, second year, third year and so on, right? So in every year of examination, in order to be eligible for scholarship in the next year, you have to obtain in your graduation in every year at least 50% of marks along with 75% of attendance, because the scheme says that we are not going to provide you the scholarship if you are doing the distance education. That is not allowed. You should be regular in the course. Only then we are going to allow you. Next is rate and duration of scholarship. So these are the latest rates. Just have a look on them. The rate of scholarship is 12,000 per annum. For graduation level for first 3 years, every year you are going to get 12,000 per annum. Once you reach at postgraduate level, you are going to receive 20,000 per annum. Students who are pursuing professional courses where the duration is 5 years, right, they will get 20,000 per annum in the 4th and 5th year. So obviously first 3 years are considered as a graduate year and hence in that years you are not going to get more than 12,000, but in the rest 4th and 5th years that are considered equivalent to the masters, we are going to provide you 20,000 per year. Next is all those students who are pursuing technical courses, BTech, engineering, etc. They will get the scholarship up to graduation level only. That means 12,000 per annum for first, second and third year and 20,000 in the 4th year. And the last thing is students can track their payment from Know Your Payment in PFMS. Again a system in order to track what are the direct benefits. Next, talking about National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy, right? So I guess we have talked about it multiple number of times, right? So I will be taking very few important things which are important in this particular scheme only, right? We are not going to go into that much detail. Why this particular Nipun Bharat has been launched? Because we want to attain foundational literacy and numeracy. Why we want to attain that, I have told you multiple number of times, right? By the end of grade 3 and not later than the grade 5th by 2026 and 27. Moving ahead, when we'll move ahead in the document, you are going to see that what is the meaning of foundational literacy, what is the meaning of foundational numeracy as well. Fine. So when this program was launched, program was launched in the year 2021, right? Aim is we want to cover the learning needs of child in the age group of 3 to 9 years. Established under the aegis of centrally sponsored scheme. The aims that we have is maintaining a good health, having the effective communication. Child should be having an effective communication, and they should become involved learners and connect with their immediate environment. If you are not able to understand that what teacher is telling you, how you are going to connect with the environment, you will always be lost because you are not understanding. You do not have the basic understanding of the addition. Then obviously the whole class will be a nightmare for you. Correct? Now, how you are going to teach this? So there are always two components of it. First of all, you want to train the teachers so that they are able to guide the child properly to have foundational literacy. And next component is again the students, right? So first we will see that how you are going to train the teachers. For that, we have already designed specific modules under Nishtha. Teachers head as well as teachers as well as school heads training program. So there are 25 lakh teachers who are teaching at pre-primary to primary grade. They will be trained under the program of Nishtha. Then we are going to use Diksha to enable students learning, because we have got videos, interactive assessment items, worksheets, etc. in the digital format. So we are going to use that. Now next is, what are the learning goals of the mission? So you see, age appropriate learning goals have been identified. What do we mean by literacy? Foundational literacy, that means the starting literacy, and numeracy you will see over here. So Bal Vatikas, that means the play group, right? Here the aim should be that child should be able to recognize the letter. They should be able to read the numerals up to 10. Arrange number, object, shape, occurrence of events in sequence. So these are our aims. Not very important, but just for the understanding purpose, right? You can read it. Not very, I'll say on the importance category, they do not have a scale of even 1. So very basic, but I guess that this sums up the understanding for you guys. Hence, I'm just reading it. In grade 1, reading small sentences which are consisting at least 4 to 5 simple words. Numbers up to 99, simple addition and subtraction. This should be the goal of the teacher. That child should be knowing about it. In grade 2, the numbers move to 999, subtraction of numbers up to 99. These are the aims. And in grade 3, able to read and meaning of at least 60 words per minute. Solve simple multiplication problems and read write numbers up to 9999. So these are the aims, that this is what the meaning of foundational literacy is, that you should be able to do age appropriate calculation and age appropriate reading. Fine. Now what is foundational literacy as well as your numeracy? So we have already talked about this. You should be able to read fluently, read comprehensions, vocab should be improved. Decoding means you should be able to do the word recognition, that what the word is being written over here, is A or B or etc. Phonological awareness. Phonological awareness means phonological is a sound related thing, right? So you should be having the words, how to pronounce them. oral language development, all of these are included in the foundational literacy. And then we have got the component of foundational numeracy. Foundational numeracy means pre-number concept. You should be able to count the numbers, operations on the number, measurement, multiplication, division, shapes and spatial understanding, as well as the patterns. Not very important, hence we are not going in that much into depth. You should just be having the understanding that what is called as the foundational literacy as well as the foundational numeracy. Only that much is important, and for that we have come up with this particular scheme. Next is your Sarthak. So again here your NEP comes into the picture, right? We are going to follow what NEP says to us, and for both. So students as well as teachers, for both we are going to do the holistic advancement through the quality education. So the component included over here is the component, or the focus is not on the school, the focus is on the teachers as well as the your students. That means you are having the what you can say, your focus on the individuals. Department of School Education has launched this, right? What we want to do, this plan provides the roadmap for the implementation of national education policy, how you are going to implement this in the next 10 years. Here the activities are going to be defined in such a manner which clearly delineates the goal. That means whatever things have been told us to be achieved under national education policy, what we are going to do, we will be creating a 10-year timeline, and then we'll be deciding that what should be achieved within how much time. So envisaged outcomes, see what has been envisaged under your NEP. First of all, gross enrollment ratio should be increasing, net enrollment ratio, transition rate and retention rate at all levels. In all, what we want is there should not be as many dropouts as we are having right now. That is not good. We have to retain the child till the level of higher education. That is our first aim. Next is your access to quality early childhood care and the education. That we have already done with the Nipun Bharat, right? We have launched a scheme for that. Learning through mother tongue, local regional languages, we have to emphasize on that. Integration of vocational education as well as availability of quality e-content in the classroom. Diksha portal has been launched for that particular initiative only. So for all these objectives, we have launched separate schemes so that we are able to achieve all these objectives within a particular timeline. Fine. Moving ahead with the National Digital Education Architecture. We are going to see that what have been the Government of India's launched schemes related to the digital component. So National Digital Education Architecture, the core idea is that we want to achieve the goals that has been laid out under the NEP 2020. Digital architecture, it is going to support teaching as well as learning activities which are going to be happening in the center and state levels, right? What are the initial stages of 36 building blocks are defined over here. 5 key persons. 5 key persons means the focus area is on these 5. Students, parent, teacher, administrator as well as the community. Now we are going to see this early childhood care. We have already seen this. We have read it 5 plus 3, 3 plus 4. We are not going to do this again. The next thing is Parak. So this is a national assessment center that has been envisaged under your national education policy, right? So we will look into this. It is a way, in view of implementing the national education policy, a new national assessment center has been brought in. The name of this is Parak, right? Set up under which ministry? It is set up under Ministry of Education.
Center will work for, it is going to set the norms, standards, guidelines for student assessment. That means examination related things. What standards you should be following in the examination. See, what happens is you have taught the child, right? NCERT is creating the standards of education, that what should be we teaching to the child. That is already set. But the next problem arises, how to assess the child. That means how to take the examination of the child, on what standards should be taken, what learning objectives should be checked at every level. So that is the work of Parakh. Parakh is related to setting the standards for your test assessment, right? What kind of, how many tests we should be conducting, how we are going to test the capabilities in those tests, all these things we are going to talk about. Now we'll be seeing few of the national initiatives for digital education. This is very important, right? So this is a capsule type of information. We are just going to talk about very briefly, no detailed explanation, nothing, right? Just remember the initiative and what the initiative is all about. That is what we have to remember. But this is very important. So see over here, first of all, PM E-Vidya portal. E-Vidya portal means this is a program which has been launched for multi-mode access to digital online education. We want to unify all efforts related to digital education benefiting nearly 25 crore school-going children across the country. Next is we have got Diksha portal. Diksha portal is One Nation, One Digital platform. The primary audience is students, teachers, etc. I have told you that in Diksha portal we have included the content starting from class 1st till class 12th. All the contents have been included, right? This content is provided in the 18 languages, and QR codes imposed in textbooks, they provide a ready gateway for new modified content that is being uploaded on the Diksha. Next is TV channels. TV channels, Swayam Prabha. So at the time of COVID, you see all these innovations have been done at the time of COVID. Why? Because at that particular time we were seriously lacking behind in we do not had the enough initiatives or enough ways how to educate our students in that times of confinement, right? So Swayam Prabha, see, on all of these you will be needing an internet connection, etc., right? And a reliable internet connection is not that much of a reality in rural hinterland. So for that purpose we have come up with this new educational technique, that is DTH. We are going to teach, there will be educational related channels, separate channels we are going, that are going to provide you education on the TV. So Swayam Prabha is a group of 32 direct to home channels that are devoted. These channels will only show you educational programs. These programs are going to cover the school education, teachers training, as well as teaching and learning related aids for children of India through 4 channels to help them understand the subjects better. Next is Swayam. This is NIOS has been identified as one of the partners under this initiative. Full form is Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Mind, Swayam. What is the effort, or what is the what we can call it, the aim of this particular scheme is, we want to take the best teaching learning resources to the all. NCERT has launched 34 online courses for the students as well as the teachers on Swayam portal. This portal is going to offer online courses on all disciplines, be it your humanities, law, management, engineering, etc. So massive courses, the concept of providing online courses to a wide section of people over a platform of learning as well as e-education. So both Swayam Prabha and Swayam, they are having a difference related to the professional educations, and plus a component of Swayam Prabha is talking about the direct to home related service, that means on the TV, and here we are going to provide you the courses on the online basis. Radio and community radio. So on that note, there is the concept of internet radio, Radio Vahini, right? What we want to do over here is we want to provide the education through any means whichever is possible. So we have utilized the TV, we have utilized the internet. Now we are going to utilize the audio based communication as well. You see Radio Vahini. So this particular frequency of FM, they are going to provide a type of open schooling, right? They are extending the education to dropouts, learners who have enrolled through ODL, urban women as well as marginalized section of society. Then we have got CBSE podcast as well. So nothing much to delve deeper into it. These are just to be understood by the names only. Hence I have included this. When you'll get the hands on the PDF, if you want to, then you can read. Otherwise, there is nothing new which I am going to tell under this. CBSE postcard podcast audio based learnings will be provided. It will be available in English and Hindi, both the things, and they will be mapped to the NCERT curriculum. Obviously, whatever standards NCERT has laid down, we have to follow those standards only. Specially content for visually as well as hearing impaired. So National Institute of Open Schooling, they have offered content for specially abled students, right? And EPUB and DAISY enabled talking books for visually impaired learners. So what you can do is you can just remember the names. Okay, EPUB and the DAISY, these are the audio books for the visually impaired people. Talking about online coaching. So IIT Professor Assisted Learning is a series of lecture that has been prepared by the IIT professors, and it will be broadcasted on the Swayam Prabha channel. Swayam Prabha direct to home channels. Next is National Test Abhyas is also adaptive learning application that are enrolling in competitive exam, and this will be conducted by the National Testing Agency that we have envisaged under your NEP 2020. So these are the two things related to this. Other information communication, information and computer related technology related initiatives, these are virtual labs. So virtual labs, nodal agency is the IIT Delhi. What you wanted to do, so we want to create an environment so that experiments can be performed and questions can be answered. We want to give the access of labs to the people who are studying far away. So Budget 2022, they have announced that 750 virtual labs in the science and mathematics and 75 e-labs. Wait for a second. 75 e-labs for skilling with simulated learning environment are to be set up in 2022. See, what happens is, let me tell you that for establishing science labs, you need investment, right? They cannot be established like that. But if you do not have the investment right away, what you can do is just use the digital tools or the electronic tools. So here you have used this. You want to take the virtual lab at the doorstep of the students. At the end of the day, what he has to do, he has to mix two chemicals and he has to see that what reaction is coming out of it and just study about it, right? So this particular thing can be provided through an online course as well. So hence, this is how you are bridging the gap between the availability of investment and providing the education to the child. Next, we have got e-yantra. E-yantra is to enable the effective education across engineering colleges in India, right? And the nodal agency is IIT Bombay. So basically focused on the robotics. For say free and open source software education, nodal agency is again IIT Bombay. What we want to do? Open form alternative to the proprietary software Fluent for computational liquid dynamics. Basically, we want to create a learning platform for the open source software where you can do your experiences. Next is Project Samarth, Smarter Automation Mission for universities. This is the initiative under National Mission in Education. Open source, open standard enabled, right? What we want to do over here is we want to provide the higher educational institutions the support as well as the capacity building, right? So that The process can be automated. There are no delays in the process, and they are self-sufficient in order to providing the higher education. Next is your Prashast mobile app. This is being developed by your NCERT, right? Department of School Education and Literacy. What the app's full form is: Pre-Assessment Holistic Screening Tools. It will be helping in screening 21 disability conditions which has been recognized under Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act at the school level, and then they will generate the school-wise report in order to share with the further authorities. So, see, there are disabilities of various kinds. The disability can be related with the eyes, ears, or your limbs, that is your hands as well as your feet. So these kinds of disabilities that are having several dimensions, we are going to use an online tool in order to identify any kind of disability condition that is prevailing in these students, right? Even if they are not aware about it, and then we are going to create a data over it, so that we have the data, in how many schools, how many disabled are studying, and then we can do a proper policy formulation onto that. So that is our aim. Next is Central Sector Interest Subsidy Scheme for Education Related Loans. So objective is the education loan scheme outlined below. We want to provide the financial support from the banking system to the meritorious students. We are going to benefit all categories of economically weaker sections who want to have professional or technical education in India. Canara Bank has been designated as the nodal office of this particular scheme. Now, who are the eligible applicants under this? All the students whose annual family income does not exceed 4 lakh per annum, right? Students, this was the same limit which was there where Prime Minister is giving the support for Uchchatar Shiksha or the higher education. So please remember this. Students who want to pursue the technical courses in NBA, CFTI accredited or regulatory approved institutes in India, they should have secured. Now this is an important thing which you should be remembering. So they should have secured an admission to higher education course in recognized institutions or abroad through entrance test or merit-based selection, right? Eligible subsidy is, subsidy amount will be interest charged on the loan amount up to rupees 10 lakhs. So any loan that there are two components, principal as well as interest, and we are going to provide you the subsidy on the interest payment that you will be doing, but up to 10 lakhs. Interest subsidy under this scheme shall not be available for those once they discontinue the course midstream. However, interest subsidy will be only available if the discontinuation was due to medical grounds. For that, you have to provide the documents. You cannot leave it in between. Repayment of the loan will be in equated monthly installments for a period of 15 years for all categories, right? Subsidy benefit is available for the moratorium period, that means the course period plus 1 year. See, obviously, whenever you are completing the course, at that time you are not in the ability or you will not have the enough support in order to repay. So hence there will be a moratorium period. Course, during your course duration, your course is for 2 years, 3 years, or whatever the duration, plus 1 year. 1 year excess grace period is given to you. In that, they are not going to demand you the repayment. They are saying, please take your time, right? And repay after that. No collateral security or third party guarantee is required for loan sanctioned up to 7.5 lakh. The part of the loan is covered for guarantee under Credit Guarantee Fund scheme for the educational loans. Vidya Lakshmi is a first of its kind portal where the students can seek education loans. Now this becomes the important thing. You have to remember that what is the use of Vidya Lakshmi portal, right? This portal, it has been developed by Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Education and Indian Banks Association. The portal has been developed and being maintained by the Portian E-Government Technology Limited. Students can view, apply and track the education loan application anywhere by accessing this particular portal. everything is secondary, but the name is primary over here. You have to remember the name and what is the purpose of this particular portal, for what purpose this portal is going to be used. Next is again coming up to the scholarship scheme. National Means Cum Merit Scholarship Scheme. First of all, this scheme is an old one, right? So it was launched in the May 2008 to provide scholarships for the students who are belonging to 9th to the 12th. This is a central sector scheme under Uchchatar Shiksha Protsahan Yojana. We are going to provide the scholarships to the students who are doing the graduation as well as post graduation, but here we are providing the support to the child who are in the 9th to 12th, right? Scheme is onboarded on National Scholarship Portal. What is the objective? So objective is that we should be providing the support to the economically weaker section students who are meritorious, so that dropout at class 8th can be arrested. That means if you are going to provide the scholarship, in the lure of scholarship, many students do not leave their education. So that is the aim of it. Scheme, there is award of 1 lakh free scholarships every year to the selected students of class 9th and their continuation in the class 10. What is the scholarship amount? 12,000 per student per annum. Rate has been enhanced from 6,000 to 12,000 from the 1st April 2017 onwards. Now for this eligibility of scholarship, every state or UT is going to conduct its own test at the level of class 8. So there are two things for this. First of all, you should be from economically weaker section, and the next thing is you should be meritorious. So the scholarship is not available for everyone. Hence, we have to conduct the test, so that to whom to provide scholarship we are able to know this. The state level examination will be may consist of 2 tests, that is mental ability as well as scholastic aptitude test. Eligibility criteria. What should be the eligibility criteria in order to appear this particular test is students whose parental income from all sources is not more than 1,50,000, it has been revised to 3 lakh per annum, are eligible to avail this particular scholarship. Next is they should be having minimum 55% of marks or equivalent in class 6 for appearing in the selection test for award of for award of scholarship relaxable by 5%, and the student should be studying on a regular student in a government aided or local body schools. Students of Navodaya, Kendriya Vidyalaya as well as residential schools, these are not entitled, and there is reservation as per state government norms. Selection test is conducted at the stage of class 8. Because the test has been conducted at the class 8, therefore they are asking the percentage of class 7, because it is being clear that class 8th examination has not been performed till date. Therefore, this is the criteria. The awardees should get minimum of 55% marks in class 9th and 11th and a minimum 60% in class 10th for the scholarship, relaxable by 5% for the SC/ST students. So I have told you that there are 2 criteria. First criteria is obviously you should be from economically backward, and that for that thing we have seen that the income criteria is 3.5 lakhs. Your family income should not go beyond that. Apart from that, the next requirement is you should be meritorious. So how the meritorious students will be selected? So this is selected out of the percentage that is you have obtained, and after that we are also going to conduct a test. So first of all, you should be eligible in order to sit into that test, and then whatever marks you have achieved in that test, on the basis of that scholarship will be provided, right? Next is the government has approved the continuation of central sector National Means Cum Merit Scholarship over the 15 Finance Commission cycle, right? That means till the 25-26 with the financial outlay with minor modifications like increasing the income ceiling from 1.5 to 3.5 lakh per annum. Now next is Study in India program. So Study in India program, what we want to do with this is we want to promote that the students should be coming in India and they should be studying with it. So what we want to do over here is we want to target the foreign students by branding India as an attractive student destination. Basically, if we'll see in India, the most of the foreign students that we have right now in India are from African region, because obviously the educational conditions there are not so what you can say trustworthy, as well as not so much efficient. So this is the current situation, but we want to bring in the foreign students who are looking for practical knowledge, societal development outside the four walls of the classroom. What is the funding? So for this, any kind of financial support in that. Implementation, education, external affairs, home affairs, as well as your MCI, all of them together will be implementing this particular scheme, right? Fee waivers to the meritorious foreign students, it will be decided by the institute, but because I have told you the problem or the funding related thing has to be provided by the institute in which the foreign student is studying. The government of India is not going to provide any kind of financial support. They are just going to do the branding so that foreign students are attracted, right? So what are the fee concession? 100% free waiver of tuition fee only for the top 25 students, talking about meritorious students. 50% for next 25% for the next 25%, and no waiver for the remaining 25% of students. For the academic year, more than 30,000 fee waivers are offered across 114 institutions. Three pillars of study in India is learn, thrive, explore. So what you have to remember is, first of all, in this scheme, you have to remember that Government of India is not giving any kind of funding related support. Selection criteria, how you are going to select this is again an important thing that you can have a look into. Indian institutes which are providing the technical expertise like STEM to non-STEM courses, they are eligible. Study in India program includes the niche disciplines like Ayurveda, Yoga, as well as Buddhist studies. We are going to offer the fee waiver from 25% to the 100% depending on the what is the meritocracy level that a student has achieved, right? The programs cater to NIRF, National Institutional Ranking Framework, top 100 institutes in any category except medical, because in medical we already have a what you can say paucity of the seats. Institutions who are having the accreditation of 3.26 or above and empaneled by UGC, be it government or private, are eligible, and all institutes which are fulfilling the criteria, they can partner with Study in India, including institutes of eminence as well as the national importance. Next is the scholarship you have seen. So Ministry of Commerce and Industry, they are offering 2,000 scholarships worth $3,500. Every meritorious students has been offered this scholarship. They are going to receive for 5 years of undergraduate program, 3 or 4 years of undergraduate program, or 2 years for post-graduation course. This is an integrated course, that means the 3+2. Each scholarship is valued at 3,500 per student per year. Each scholarship will only cover tuition, accommodation, food and admission expenses, and this will be electronically transferred to the institutes. So under this, see, earlier Government of India said that we are not going to provide it, but it depends on the ministry, which kind of ministry wants to give the scholarship. So here Ministry of Education is not providing, but the Ministry of Commerce and Industry has said that we are going to provide this scholarship. So there is no fixed central government related support to this particular scheme. This depends on the ministry's intentions. If any ministry wants to contribute, if any ministry wants to come and give scholarship, then they can. Otherwise, central government has not got any dedicated funding. Like we were studying that, okay, 60-40 has to be central and state ratio. That kind of things are not here. So these are the things that we had to study today, and there are few more other things that are left, but we'll be covering that tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining in. I hope you have learned a lot of things, and if you did, then please do not forget to like this video.